What up, fellas? What up, fellas?
What up? What up? What
What's
up?
good? What's good?
Y'all, we here, y'all. It's the official day, the first day of our podcast episode, man. So I know we all excited to get on here, have a good conversation.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go.
Let's go, man. So first off, definitely want to welcome everybody to our first official episode of our podcast. This is
Yes,
the
sir.
Black Man's Locker.
Oh, yeah.
So we have myself along with Norris, along with
That's right.
Terry, and also Marlon in the building, y'all. So we're gonna have a real good conversation. So just kind of let me give y'all a little bit of history of the Black Man's Locker and how it actually all started. The four of us came together and really wanted to talk about a safe space for Black men to talk about issues and just have real good dialogue of things that can help us overcome personal situations in life. I think Norris, the group started off with like 53.
That's
Then
right.
it went up to 300. Now we're at 11,700 Black men that are part of this movement, and it's continuing to grow on a day by day basis. So we definitely make
Gang,
some.
Sir.
gang. Gang, gang.
Sir.
Got it.
Sir.
So yo, we in here, we in here. So I
Yeah.
don't know if y'all want to
Yeah.
introduce yourselves, or if y'all want to do a little round table and say something about yourself.
They know me.
You said they know you.
Come on, man.
Well, if y'all don't know me, my name is Marlon. Shoot, I'm just glad to be here. This is definitely, the time that we've been doing this has been an eye-opening, life-changing experience. We all from the. I don't think we all need to say that we're from Wichita. I think everyone knows that. But I'm just happy to be here.
That's what's up. I'm Norris, of course. Hey, we repping the dub, so I'm proud to say I'm from the dub. We all are doing something positive, doing something amazing for young Black brothers from the dub that are trying to make a difference, man. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And so we're just glad to be of service to the community, glad to be of service to each other, glad to be of service to our group. Like Ty said, 11,700 active. Let me put that word in there.
Keyword.
Active,
Active.
And growing.
active,
And growing.
active,
Don't play
and
with
growing.
us.
Active brothers, all brothers, all brothers doing what we do. So yeah, we're good to
Absolutely.
go.
Well, I'm Terry Terrell. I'm also known as Terry Talks on some platforms. Married with 5 kids. Pray for me. I'm out in the Wichita area. Um, I'm a therapist in this space, so mental health is important to me. And that's one of the things that me and Ty really kind of collaborate a lot on is the
Yeah.
mental health aspect of our group. What can we do to help Black men talk about and create those safe spaces and have conversations about those things that we can't in public or in our areas. I'm also in the process of opening my own private practice, Odyssey Counseling and Consulting.
That's what's up.
Just having a passion for helping people and mentoring and teaching and pretty much collaborating with anybody in the community that really wants to make an impact. I had a rough upbringing, and so things were not always ideal for me. So I just know about being put in boxes and having labels placed on you, and then just being able to break those barriers and be able to speak into the lives of youth that can see
Yeah.
Black professional men like us that can articulate themselves and operate in spaces and tear down barriers and stereotypes. So I'm excited about what we're doing here. I know
Yeah.
we're going at a rate. I mean, I was telling my one brother when we were like at 1,500, 2,000, I was like, we're like, this is going to keep on going because our hearts are right. And
Yeah.
we're inviting people to come on a journey with us to embrace some of the change that we're doing and to be challenged in their own personal space to be better men and fathers at
Absolutely.
home. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
You're in the right
Yeah.
place today.
Definitely welcome
Well,
everyone.
well, I'm Tyrese Lawless. For those who don't know me, I'm from the Dub, just like everybody else
Yes,
in this
sir.
group, man. So definitely excited to be a part of this movement and really just watching a lot of the brothers, that have a lot of personal issues or just come to the group with advice. See a brotherhood take place in real life. Like we talk about having a brotherhood and talk about coming together as a community. But within this group, this is what really happens. It's a no judgment zone. We have brothers from all different type of walks of life, but at the end of the day, there's one thing that we all have in common is that we're black, and the second thing is that we're men. So
That's it.
definitely, I'm excited about that. So, Marlon, what's our first topic? What we gonna dive in today, man?
Well, gentlemen, I had to go back and look in the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Basically,
I think one of the things it said was why black man's locker.
yeah,
Yeah.
what is the Black
Yeah.
Man's Locker and why the Black Man's Locker was created? So I think Tyree should lead off with that one.
So
Let's go.
yeah, I mean the main reason why the Black Man's Locker was created, man, is really just to create a comfortable, safe space for Black men. Let's be honest and be real. And this is probably one of our topics too. You know, the question is asked: do Black men really have a safe space? You know, and if I was to give my honest opinion, my answer is going to be no. We don't.
No.
And we wanted to create this platform and this movement for Black men to be able to be open and be vulnerable amongst brothers to really seek advice on certain situations that they're dealing with. It could be with mental health, as far as depression, anxiety. It can also be with physical health, so like weight loss,
Yeah.
heart conditions. But it can also be
Yeah.
with relationships as well. I mean, within the group itself, we have a lot of Black men that are leaders, that are professionals, that are therapists, and we got our thugs too. You know what I'm saying? In case the conversation got to go that route
Yeah.
a little bit too, but it's a great space for us just to come together. So when we talk about like Black men, you know, having a safe space, do y'all feel Black men have a safe space?
Start with you, Terry.
I think I'm gonna have to go with you on this one, Reese. I'm going to say no. Just my honest assessment as a professional, dealing with minorities, and then me being a minority in general. When we talk about men, I think I heard a great quote the other day. It said, "Most men live and die in the silence of their emotions and feelings."
Yeah.
And
I
so
can agree
when we
with that.
talk about whether a man can have a safe space, then we have to talk about what does those spaces look like. And sometimes the spaces that we have, we can be some of the part of the problem. You know, sometimes we can reinforce
True.
It's true.
stigmas and things that keep us bound and keep us silent. So I'm gonna have to go with a no.
What about you, Norris?
Well, I'm definitely gonna go with a hard no. I mean, I'm just
He
gonna
is
keep
just
it a
saying
buck.
no. You said a hard no.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm not even getting ready to sit around and pull no punches and sugarcoat it, because I mean, you know, and the reason I say no is because, you know, with the society that we live in and the things that we see every day, especially amongst brothers, especially since starting this group, you know, once we put this group together and we started to see an influx of brothers come in with all of these different issues
Yeah.
and all of these different struggles and all of these, you know, different thought patterns, you know, and things like that. It was very evident and very apparent for me to see that there are a lot out, and I would say the majority, I mean, dare I say, the majority of brothers here, you know, especially within our group, you know, and I would say probably all over the United States. And I mean, we have people from, you know, overseas as well that are in the
Yeah.
group. You know, everything, you know, really rings the same. I'm so glad that we have a space because for whatever reason, I can't talk to, you know, my woman about these things. I can't talk to this person about these things. You know, I can't talk to the person that's at my church about these things because, you know, if I talk to them about it, they're going to look at me crazy. I can't talk to my family members about it because if I talk to my family members about it, then, you know, I don't know what they're going to say. For all I know, they may weaponize it and use it
Yeah,
against me.
that's right.
And so with, you know, with all of the things that we have seen as a collective, you know, within the group and within, you know, the confines of the Black Men's Locker, it's very evident and very apparent that, you know, a safe space is very vital. It's very much needed, but we just, you know, we don't have that like that. We
Yeah.
don't have that like that. And I don't want to say it's a sad thing. It kind of is,
It's
but
reality. It's a reality.
But it's reality, and I would also even go a little step further and say that because of the way that I think, our generation, generations prior to us, were brought up, hey, you are a man, period, point blank. So with that, you don't really have feeling. You don't really have emotion. You
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you 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 don't, you're not supposed to really show emotion. You're supposed to be Superman, especially black men. And I'm not saying that because I know with me saying that, it'll probably be a backlash from a lot of women. But I'm not even really talking about you all. I'm just talking about in general. The
Yes.
stereotype for black men is that we are supposed to be Superman. We aren't supposed to feel. We aren't supposed to, think about, ourselves in any type of a way that would, deem us as emotional. Nowadays, we saucy, or sassy, or whatever it is that they say, if we are actually somewhat in touch with our feelings. But at the end of the day, we're men and we are human. We're gonna
yeah,
feel like everybody else. We're gonna be
yeah.
sad. We're gonna be angry. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna experience all of those emotions.
Yeah.
So
I think you hit on something real key, man. Like when you say how our vulnerability can be weaponized, I think a lot of times, when it comes to us as black men, we don't want to be vulnerable because we fear that whatever we may say may turn around and bite us, later on down
absolutely,
the line. It can be used or brought up, during an argument or during a difficult situation. But I think another key component to why it's hard for us to be vulnerable is because it's when we begin to explain our issue or what we have going on, it gets twisted into,
yeah,
well, what I said is what we're talking about is now how about you feel versus
right,
what I said. So it's I'm
right,
putting out there
right.
my frustration, my problem, my issue, my need, but then that conversation changes to how you feel
Yeah.
Hmm.
about what I said.
That's it
And
right
now
there.
we're having a whole totally
Yep,
That's valid.
different conversation.
it literally
And
is flipped.
right. And then even
Yeah,
from a church perspective, I think, like we say, you can have Jesus and a therapist, but I
true.
think it's the back in the day we were told just go in church and pray about
Yeah. And we
it. And that don't
reinforce it
always,
with ourselves
solve
too.
everything. I'm a firm believer in prayer, but I also
Yeah.
believe that, God gifted certain people with certain skills, such as yourself,
Absolutely,
Terry, what I'm saying,
absolutely,
to help people
absolutely.
navigate, through certain situations and get a different perspective.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, just on the church piece, with I guess me being the preacher out of the group on the church piece,
You
you
triggered that
know,
man.
no,
You
no.
triggered
I
that
mean,
man.
I'm just keeping it a buck, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just on the church piece itself, you know, um, I think one of the hardest things, man, for people in church to do, people that are Christians or, they claim Christendom or whatever
Mhm.
faith, whatever faith you are. I think one of the things that is hardest for them to do is to allow themselves to be vulnerable in a space where, and I know this is going to be controversial, but hey, it is what it is,
Bring it.
to be or feel safe in a space where you are supposed to be able to
Yeah.
come with your burdens,
Yep.
your issues, your struggles, whatever it is that you're dealing with. You're supposed to be able to come to that place and be in a place where you are embraced, where you are loved on, where you can somewhat get help as much as a person can help you,
Hmm.
because let's just be honest, every leader may not have the gift of counsel, so they can't
Ah.
really counsel you. Every you might not have a therapist in your congregation or whatever the case may be is, but this is a place where you're supposed to be able to come to get some type of help.
Right.
And unfortunately, um just over time, I've seen a lot of people, end up, instead of getting helped, they get hurt.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Instead of, being able to get, into an area where, somebody will actually, hey, well, here's these resources, or, here's this, or here's that, maybe you can talk to this person to help you. It's laughing and mockery. And I'm not saying that that's the way it is at all churches. Let me put that disclaimer out there. But it is like that for some. And unfortunately, especially for men, because if we're being honest, the majority of black churches is made up of black women, not black men.
Mm-hmm.
So when a man does come in and he displays, himself as, hey, I'm a vulnerable man. I've been through a lot in life. Right now, life is tearing me up. I need help. When that person does that, it's not for that man to be made a mockery of, or to be made to feel as though he's weak. And we have to do better in church about that type of thing, especially for
Yeah.
men. Because at the end of the day, we have all of these people hollering about there's not a lot of men in church. But I don't think we've really taken a definitive look at the reasons as to why there are not a lot of men in church.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of women in church that's looking for husbands and they want godly men. And there's a lot of good brothers out here. But I think, that there have been some stigmas and some other things that have kind of caused these men to not really want to come to church. But then on the flip side of it, when we get them in there, let's make sure that we treat them right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody doesn't come whole.
Right.
Some people need a physician. That's what Jesus said.
No,
Some people need a physician.
You're making good sense,
So, I think we need to do better in that area.
Y'all really want me to talk about this?
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Be real.
I'll be honest with you, and I in no way am trying to sound sexist or anything like that, but
Yeah.
in comparison to women in general, I ain't talking about just black women. I'm talking about men in general, women in general. No, we do not have a safe space. Like it's okay for a woman to have a private group or a TV show or something where they can be women and they can, they can have a woman's only gym or a woman's only sports program or something like that. But when men do it, it's sexist. There was a time where the barbershop, you go to the bar. There was a time where you can, like my grandpa and them would get together, his homeboys, they get together and go outside, and sit in the yard and have some beers and talk amongst them. That's their man conversation. I mean, nowadays it's to the point where, I'm not saying all women, but there's a point where some women will see that and they think, what y'all talking about? Y'all talking about cheating, talking about, doing some mockery, some things like that, and it's not even the case. I mean, I've had many personal conversations with men where it's just men we're talking, and we ain't even talking about women. We talking about, brothers talking about, hey man, I need to find a way to, get better finances. I need to, find a way to get more money. Our brothers be like, to be honest, I feel like I need to be a better father. I need things to do with my kid.
It's huge.
It's real conversations, like what we're doing in the group, which kind of brings me to the point of, well, I ain't gonna say that now, but we'll get to that eventually because I think we should have a point where we're kind of go over the rules a little bit because I think some people can't read. That's all.
This dude is wild.
I mean, I really look into that.
He's a wild dude.
I look into that. I'm telling you, I'm the realist. But I look at it like, we don't have that safe space. Like we're condemned so much as men. We're expected to be perfect. Like no matter what's going on, no matter what, like all the things that have progressed with women, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the history. If you look back at the history of what women have gone through, I'm very proud of the progress they're making. But at the same time, it feels like the adjustment hasn't been moved for men. It's almost like, okay, we can do this, but y'all got to be right here. I can be independent and I can do this, but when I fall, you better have an answer. If you don't have an answer, then you're worthless. And we can't have a weak. Another thing, we can't have a weak moment. We can't break down. It's like we're supposed to be invincible. And the suicide rate for Black men is crazy right now.
Man,
True.
I mean,
True.
I've talked to so many brothers, and I'm not gonna put nobody's business out there, but I've learned things about some of my friends recently that they were wanting to take their lives, and it's crazy. Like, these are brothers who I thought were extraordinary. Their lives are great, but when you hear that and you think about it, you're like, wow. And then, when you say that in public, we can say it amongst each other and be like, damn, bro, if you ever need me, I got you. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but there's some women like, oh, you a punk. Oh, you this, that. And it hurts, bro. It hurts. It hurts, bro. Like, to hear that. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but man, like we got feelings too, and one thing I'm really proud of this group, because we are doing some work. We're doing the Lord's work, and it's like it's the most amazing thing to see when someone posts, man, I'm having trouble with my marriage, or man, I don't want to be here no more, and we can come in here, not just us four, but other brothers from all across the country, all around the world. They're like, hey, brother, what's going on? DM me what you need. Hit me up. I can do that, man. You got kids. And just to see that's. Bro, this group was definitely needed. So, I mean, we don't have a safe space, but we are here, and we are going to create that safe space. So, that's my two.
So let me pose a question to the group then, since we all here, man. Do you all think that at some point, and I don't know when this will be, but do you all think that at some point we will be able to match up in terms of having outlets and things like that, like women do, to be able to, be vulnerable and do the things that we need. I know we have created our own space, but I mean, if we just, looking at it, man, I mean, it seems like, it's 10-1, as far as, women in spaces and things that they have to be able to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to men. I mean, social media, I think, has been a huge conveyor of this, and everybody has the opportunity to make their own groups just like we did. But do you ever think that we'll ever get to a point to where we can all, where we're able to all come up to a common ground, and be able to be who I believe God created us to be as man and woman, being able to be vulnerable with each other.
Yes.
To a point, that it develops and it grows for the betterment of both people.
I think it can be, but the problem is there are enemies on both sides. There's there's sensible men and there's sensible women out there who want that peace and that where that equality, that vulnerability, where we can have that conversation. But you got the red pill, you got the the super. I don't even know what women would call themselves, the ignorant, the ones that think that Cheesecake Factory is not a good enough place to eat. You got.
Oh boy!
We have to realize.
I'm ready for that conversation.
I mean, there are enemies on both sides, and I think that because with men we can spot that real easy. We can spot I'm gonna try not to cuss, but we can spot somebody being fake. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We'll cut them off. We'll cut them off quick. Like, nah, we ain't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of women out there are more nurturer, so they'll have the homegirl they know is scandalous, let them come stay with them, and shenanigans occurs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, we can definitely have. I think we just need to have that conversation. I think someone somewhere. I think we need to have more platforms like this on both sides, where we can all come together, sit down, and say, "Hey, this is what needs to happen. We need to figure out why. Why do you feel this way? Why do we feel this way? And how can we fix this for future generations?"
Right. And women, just real quick, I'm gonna let you come in, Tyrese. I ain't trying to take over, but I just want to put this out there. Women, if your man tells you that one of your female friends is fake, When he tell you, believe him.
Listen,
Real.
When that man tell you that your friend is fake, believe that dude. Believe him.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm
He
going
ain't
to say.
comfortable around her. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
Reese. Give us some truth.
Right. I think, man, I truly believe that the time will come, and like you were saying, Marlon, I mean, it's going to take time, but it's going to also take that necessary conversation, to have. It's not a quick fix.
Right.
It's going to take time. It's going to take years, because you got to think of the mindset that people have right now. And when you look at how social media has portrayed the black man, but also how the black woman should be,
Mm.
it's
True.
it's button heads.
True.
When you think of, I can't remember who was talking about it, but when you look at social media, the type of black woman that's advertised. Hey, we a podcast, so I'm gonna say some names. You got the Suki Hanas and the Sexy Reds that they think like that's
Hey,
how we
this
supposed
is
to
how
be.
Yeah.
yeah.
But where's the promotion of the entrepreneur black woman, the doctor, the smart woman? Like the women from the '90s, the Claire Huxtable. Like
The Angela Bassett's.
we
Yeah.
don't see that. But then you have the men, when it comes to being able to express emotion, is being called weak.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So until the perspective of people change of what a man is and what a woman is, it's gonna always be the hit, but it's gonna take time to change, though.
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think you made some very valid points, brother. Going back to your original question, will we ever be able to match up with the safe spaces that women have? I think we have to step back and just kind of realize, even if we don't, we have to produce quality safe spaces for ourselves.
Yes.
Fact.
It's not
Fact.
kind of like a race. I'm not saying that's
Right.
what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is we have to pretty much stay in our lane and focus on what we're doing, and
Mhm.
then
I agree.
we can kind of start seeing those things grow. I think and I use this example with some of my clients and some of my friends before when I'm talking about the progression of a person or a system. In track, I was told that if you're running and you come out of your lane, or if you get so focused on what the person beside you is doing, or you're looking back, then you come out of your lane, you disqualify yourself from the race. Not
True.
only that, but you also lose momentum. And I think some of the times we lose momentum as men in this space because we're too worried about what everybody else is doing instead of what we need to be doing for ourselves. Not just as men, but as black men, when we recognize that this space is, in some spaces we're in danger. Me being a black therapist, I'm a unicorn in certain spaces. There's very few black men that operate in mental health space. We're less than 10%. So when I am in that space, I'm able to articulate and also show black representation at its finest for young black men and minorities in general. But so to answer your question, I think if we get good at creating those spaces with quality instead of quantity, I think what we have will matter. It doesn't matter if we have the numbers, we'll have the quality of services that men will come and follow and come out of the woodworks to be a part of. And I think that's what we're seeing right now in the Black Men's Locker. Is we're seeing we have people from other countries wanting to be a part of what we're doing because they see what we're doing and how we talk and how we articulate the things that we're going through. So, man, I'm excited about what we're doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right.
So
Well, we just knocked out like 2 topics. I mean, if anybody else got to say, we literally.
It's all good, man.
But I think one of the topics we had, I think this is going to be probably the controversial because we talk about the disconnect, between the conversation between black men and black women.
Right.
And then Marlon, you mentioned about the Too Good for the Cheesecake Factory. So,
Lord help.
Coming for you on that one.
Y'all been to the Cheesecake Factory lately?
hey man, Cheesecake Factory got decent food.
That's fire. It's fire.
That's not no McDonald's or no Applebee's, man. That's
not at all.
You know what I'm
That's a real
saying?
menu.
But
Real,
what's
right?
what's funny, is some of the women that be like, my man better not take me to no Cheesecake Factory. There ain't a Cheesecake Factory in 65 miles from where you live, so he ain't gonna be taking you.
Right.
Talking about you too good for
you touched
Cheesecake
on
Factory.
something
You ain't
though.
even got one in your state.
You
Man,
touched on
man.
something though. You talked about the rhetoric. It's the rhetoric that's getting
Mhm.
reinforced. Now all of a sudden, this place or that place isn't good enough. Well, we need to really dig below the surface and see what we're really having an issue with. Right?
Just trying to keep up with that social media
Yeah.
reality star lifestyle. So they assume you have to, like they say, drop that check on that first date and that money,
Yeah.
But what I was really wanting to go to was the 50-50 conversation.
Mm.
Ooh, I wanna read this
Our
part.
community has been I pray, y'all, for real, seriously, I pray that this be the last year that we
Man,
see on
okay.
social media the 50-50 conversation,
Yeah.
because we have been
Man,
at
listen.
this as a community for about 10 years now. And what I noticed though, I don't see any other culture having this debate.
No. Oh, my bad.
I don't see no other culture having this debate about being 50-50. And people can say what they want, but I got some info because I asked a couple people from different cultures, how do they feel about it? And then I'm going to tell y'all what they say. But I want to know what y'all think about that.
I'll let y'all go first because I'm about
Man, you was not leaving us on the hook with that one, man. You
I'm about
can't
to
say
run this thing. I'm about to run
Okay,
this in the
so I'll
wall.
say this. I'll say this. I'll go first, and then
Please
I'll say
do.
what I've learned. I believe when it comes to this is just my belief. You have a lot of times women articulate that they want a guy to be the provider, right? And I get smart sometimes because if you go look at the definition of the word provider, it means to provide something. It didn't say provide everything. It says provide something. So that's a little dictionary lesson for those who like to use that word. But
nugget.
then there's also the breadwinner, the one that pays for everything, right? I believe that you got to do what's best for your relationship, and you got to stand 10 toes down on it at the end of the day. If you 50-50, don't need to be arguing with nobody about you being 50-50 and why it works for you, because at the end of the day, some people argue to prove a point, not to understand. So you have to be comfortable at where you are, with being 50-50. If you're a breadwinner, hey, so be it, you take care of everything. But my thought process is people have to do what's best for their relationship in their household.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I love it. I think you touched on some big things on how social construct really can damage relationships, really.
Yeah.
I think as a single father, at one point in time, I had to realize that my daughters need their hair done. So that means that I needed to learn how to do their hair. I needed to learn how to cook healthy meals and that things. And so I think once we realize that, it kind of goes back into the stigma things, men get pressured into positions that may not be genuine and may not be authentic of who we really are or how we were raised. And so I think a real man is able to be versatile and do whatever his family needs him to do and be whatever in position he needs to be in order to make that happen. For me, my wife makes more money than me, and that doesn't bother me because I'm a man and I'm not defined by the amount of money that I make. And I think some people have really
Say that again. Can we get a sound effect on that?
My bad. I don't have the sound effect. So I'm scared to push any of these buttons because I don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to come out. No, but that's huge.
I'll have them together next episode, man.
All right. No, I'm going back. I'm going to run that back. Just like you do in battle rap, they say run it back. I'm going to run that back because I think that's important. Of our men are failing because we have allowed other people to dictate what a man is for us.
Right.
And one of the things I was saying is my wife makes more money than me, but I'm a man and I'm not dictated by the amount of money that I make. And if I make less or if I make more, I'm still a man. And so a lot of people are taking that, internalizing that, and it's wrecking their relationships because they're taking that and they're saying, because I don't make an X amount of money, I'm not worthy, or I don't have value. Your value is in who you are and not just what you provide, or not just about how much money you make, but you're being able to pull everyone together, and then you work your parts. So, the 50-50, if it's 60-40, if it's 70-30, whatever you can do, you should be able to at your highest level and then be pushing to add value to your relationship. That's what the key would be, is add value to your relationship. Now, if you're not adding value to your relationship and they're doing 70, you're doing 30, then you need to step your game up and you need to be able to be challenged. But that's a different conversation.
You want to go, Norris?
Norris, I hear you talking, but I can't hear you talking. I see you talking.
Well,
Did you hit mute?
You got it? Well, I'll go then. I'll go. Well, fix your stuff. I'll go. We were born in the 80s. So, Norris was born. I ain't gonna put him on blast.
You about to cause some trouble.
So, but we were born in a generation, it's safe to say, where Black women in general were working. We weren't born in like the 40s and 50s. Well, actually, let's go back to 20s, 30s. When it was kind of new. You know what I'm saying? We weren't born in that time where a man had to be the breadwinner. But I think a lot of women need to understand that if a man is the sole breadwinner, that means everything else is on you. And I know that sounds horrible, but I understand that a housewife, that's a job in itself. That's a job in itself, and it's to be respected highly. But the thing is, nowadays, you hear women talk about, I need a man that's going to take care of everything, and you hear, but they're not doing their part in that. Like, a lot of these women aren't doing their part of the deal with that. And and like I said, I'm not trying to be evil, but it's just what I see. Like, it's not me working all day and making 100K, which we need to get into that discussion too, because the 100K conversation for one person it's not rare, but it's something that, that's, we'll get into that one
eventually. That's top 10%.
So, like, if your man is working and you're not at home on Amazon, you're not going on day drinking, you got somebody has to take care of the kids, someone has to clean the house, someone has to do this. Because if he's the sole breadwinner, I'm pretty sure brother's working 10, 12 hours a day. And he's coming home, he's tired. He ain't got no energy. He got to work 5-6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? But going back to what I was saying earlier, we were born in a generation where we saw the George and Louise Jeffersons. We saw Claire Huxtable, Cliff Huxtable. We saw Carl Winslow and, I forgot her name. But anyway. Harriet. We saw these couples working. Like, this is the influences we grew up with. And even around in real life. My grandmother, who was born during that time where it was cool for the husband to be at home, the husband to work and the woman to be at home. My grandmother, her sister, they kept a hustle, bro. Cleaning houses, cleaning churches, cleaning schools. My grandma probably owned at least 2 or 3 restaurants in Wichita alone with her best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kept a hustle. My auntie, my great aunt, you know what I'm saying? She was one of the first postal workers at the post office on 13th and Oliver. When they first opened that joint up. You know what I'm saying? They got a picture of her in there. Like, literally, and her husband, he pastor, mechanic, businessman. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, that 50-50 thing is, to me, if you can do it, great, bro. Do it. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be, like you said, Terry, it shouldn't be something that defines your relationship. You still the man in the house. You still the husband, she's still the wife. You know what I'm saying? There's really no bonus to that. I'm not gonna hold my woman back from her job just because I feel complacent on it. Please go out there. If you can make $100,000 a year, baby, go for it. That's less things we got to do. You know what I'm saying? If I can find a way to elevate myself to that, great, awesome. But I think the whole talk of it is nonsense because nobody, men and women, aren't really getting what it means to go 50-50 or 100-0 or whatever. It's just conversation. It's just, oh, well, my woman should, But at the same time, and another thing is, if you got to honestly think about it, we live in a day and age. Come on, man, stuff costs money. This stuff's expensive, bro.
Life ain't cheap.
You know what I'm saying? You know, especially if you want your kids to have the greatest shoes, and you want them to have the top notch everything, and you got, oh, I need this, I need Chanel bags, I gotta have this brand, Jordans, whatever. That's not an easy feat. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
to me, the way I was brought up, a 2-income household is better. It's easier to have a combined income of $100,000 in this day and age than it is to do it solo. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would much rather me and my wife have a combined income to where we can take days off, spend time with each other, or when I get married. I'm not married. I'm the only one in the member group that's not married. But when I get married, have it, where we're not stressed out, where I'm not coming home and I want to be left alone, or she's coming home and she want to be left alone, or one of those things. We can say, hey, look, we got the weekend off. Let's go out to eat. Let's relax. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to even think about work. Then to be like, man, I got to work Saturday, man. I got to do this, So that's just how I feel. I feel like 50-50 talk is kind of weird because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. It's
right.
That was huge.
You still on mute, Norris?
Norris.
Norris
jacking the phone.
He cussing
He's
out.
just talking. You still saying
What'd you say,
Man, this
Nelson?
phone, I don't know what's wrong with this phone.
nah, we can't hear you, man.
We can hear you.
Hey, log out, log back in, bro. Yeah, he logged
But
in.
I think, I mean, like you were saying,
That's
I
it.
think one of the things that when and you said something key, Marlon, of knowing what the 100% of one person doing everything and the other person doesn't have to work. I've spoken with people from other cultures, Hispanic, Vietnamese, and also Indian. And a lot of their thought processes is for the ones that both work, they use that as a way to build up wealth, but also to build up a good family structure to where they have a lot of income coming in, for those who do the more traditional route. Oh, it's very traditional, which means if he's the one doing all the work, then she's at home taking care of everything else. You back, Norris?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Woo!
Man,
You got off the praise real quick, huh?
that stupid Amber Alert came on my phone. And the daggum Amber Alert just totally knocked me off, man. I'm sitting up here listening, looking like a looker. Can't say nothing.
So
Wow,
what's your thoughts, Doris? Go ahead, add your 2 cents in on 50.
You know what? Y'all wild for that, man. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. This is where I'm at. I'm of the belief, again, like most of us, what works for your house is what works for your house. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the measure of a man is not based on the stuff that he possesses. That's Bible. And if we really looking at it for what it really is, man, at the end of the day, you hear a lot of people, especially now that social media is so prevalent, you hear and see a lot of people talking about, well, this is what I want, when I get a mate. I want somebody that I can travel with. I want somebody that, I can build a house with. I want somebody that I can build business with. I want, we want all of these things that take a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of it takes a team effort. And so you want the team effort, but then there are some people who claim that they want the team effort, but then they want all of the effort to be singular. They want the team experience. In other words, everything that, if we get this house, if we start this business, if we do this or whatever the case may be, if we do all of that stuff, then all of that is cool. But I want you to do the work, though, for real. I don't want to have to do the work. You know what I'm saying? I want you to do the work, and that's typically put on the man. I want you to do the work because I want this house, I want this car, I want to be able to go on trips, I want to do all of these things, and all of that is wonderful. Yeah. But what happened to teamwork? What happened to that?
because I was thinking a little bit earlier today, and I just kind of in my mind was just thinking about my grandmother, and my grandfather, and I was telling some people not too long ago, my grandmother, man, by trade was a chef. That's what she did. She cooked,
Mm. Okay.
cooked. Anybody that may watch the podcast, or y'all may even be familiar. You might not be. I don't know. But years ago, before there was a McDonald's across the street from Wesley Hospital, there was a place called Brown's Grill.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah.
And Brown's Grill was a predominantly white restaurant.
I remember.
And my grandmother was a chef there. My grandfather, after he stopped working at the meat packing plant, he was a trash man.
Mm.
And they worked together. It wasn't you make more money than me, or I make more money than you, so I'm gonna make you feel inferior, or whatever the case may have been. They worked together.
Right.
And to me, that's what I think is lacking, because you have so many people that want to push the agenda of, well, I'm a boss, so you need to be a boss. That's fine if you a boss. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm like Terry. If it's a situation where that woman is doing 70%, man, and you only doing 30, and you ain't even trying, nah, bruh.
That's a different conversation.
You need to go sit down somewhere.
Right.
Real talk. You need to go sit down.
I'm not afraid to admit my woman makes more money than me. You know what I'm saying?
Mine makes more money than me.
I make more than me.
And she don't even point it, but I mean, I know, and she don't really put it, because we're not married, we still live in separate houses, but at the same time,
Right.
when she calls me, she says, I need this, I need that, I make sure it's done. You know what I'm saying? I know she's not playing, you know what I'm saying? So I know when we go on vacations and stuff, she's gonna make sure it's popping and make sure we're having a good time, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
Giving my task, okay, this is what I got, the plane ticket, you get the hotel, or I got this, like this, or this is coming up for the kid. Like my sons need snacks for school Sunday.
Right.
My job is to make sure that they're hooked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I'll keep it a buck. It took me a good while to even be able to come up close to what my wife was making. I was working a job, got my business going. You know what I'm saying, and doing that, and the money was coming. So again, she may have been making more money, but bro, I was hustling.
Yeah.
Hustling. Why? Because to me, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to hustle. And at the end of the day, I thank God for mine, because she is of the mind frame, hey, you know what? We put our joints together.
Right.
We put our joints together and we do what we do, because at the end of the day, we are a unit. It's not just you and it's not just you. We are a unit. And because we are a unit, we got each other's back. And that's a vow that we made to each other. You know what? Whatever I got to do, I'm not going to let you fall. And whatever you got to do, you're not going to let me fall. At the end of the day, we got each other's back. And because we got each other's back, it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying, if I'm making $10 an hour less or whatever the case may be. Like I said, whatever I may be lacking or, was lacking on my job, I got on my hustle, to make up, because that's just what's in me to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I never want to be in a position to where, if anything ever happens to mine, that we still can't do what we supposed to do, and we not able to stay afloat, and we're not able to, have what we have and maintain it. You know what I'm saying? And this is something else that I'll say too. And I think a lot of women need to understand this. There are a lot of men, honestly, who I believe they really wished, if for whatever reason they were able to really get to the place that they really wanted to go, they would be that dude. Yeah. Babe, don't even worry about no bills. I got it. We good. There are men that desire that. that, you know, really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were in the position to be able to do that, I honestly believe that they would. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got the house, I got the bills. Don't even worry about it. I know you working, you know what I'm saying? Do whatever you gonna do, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know, but I got this, you know. And like Marlon said, something else. And I know I'm probably getting ready to you know, kick over a sacred cow, for lack of a better term. But we hear a lot, you know, from the other gender about, you know, what they want, this, that, and the third. But then when you go and you look at the book of Proverbs 31, because I'm sure going there. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. Are you sure?
Mm. Yeah.
I'm gonna get
Are you
us.
sure?
I'm gonna get you some organs in there, brother.
Because I mean, I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
people are, you know, people want to just rush in on men, but that Bible ain't just for men. You know what I'm saying? It's for women too. You know what I'm saying?
What an
And
offer plate. Let me
you
find an
talk
offer
about that,
plate.
you know, you talk about that Proverbs 31 woman. It talks about how she keeps her house. It talks about how she is with her husband and her kids, and how her husband and her kids, how they adore her. It talks about how she has a hustle. Because it talks about her selling that linen, that purple. She has a hustle. She's got all of these things. But how you gonna be that and you big mad? Like, you big mad. And you know, like somebody gotta like coerce you, man, to even cook a meal. Man, don't even give me started.
Hey, you got to get us in trouble.
Nah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we can say whatever we want to, man, about the 50-50 deal. But to me, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. I'm putting in everything that I got. You putting in everything that you have. My wife will tell you right now, bro, if my wife don't feel like cooking, I'll go right up in there and make a whole whatever course meal. And after I done that, after getting off work, I'll go in there, shower up, do what I'm gonna do, eat my food, man, and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna chill out and lay down. Because at the end of the day, man, it's 100-100, bro. It's not 50-50. I'm putting in everything that I have to make sure that we good. She's putting in everything that she has to make sure that we good. And so at the end of the day, man, we can't lose.
That's true. That's real true.
You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, that Bible's for everybody, bro. It's for men and women. So at the end of the day, man, you know, don't try to hold somebody to a standard that you ain't with. Because if you can't bring the standard that you're asking for, something ain't right.
So brothers, this is what you do when y'all have y'all first date and y'all meet up. Your first question should be, have you read your Bible?
Because you know I'm gonna come from the text. I'm gonna come from it. You know I am.
Oh man.
But the
I'm gonna come from it.
definitely is like you just hit on. What is the understanding of your spirituality? What is your what is your child wearing? How were you raised? What did you see? And I think we have to give that some type of substance. Is how were you raised? What is your ideology on kids? What is your ideology on that subject? And if we have those conversations up front, I think it alleviates a lot of the headache that we have trying to force people into spaces that whether they're not fit or they're just not being genuine about who we are.
Real talk. And at the end of the day, man, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say that is something we should definitely dive deep in on our next episode of what type of questions and what type of conversations to have up front in the very beginning. and this could be a conversation at the Cheesecake Factory because you got to graduate.
It could be at Applebee's.
It could be over coffee.
It could be at Applebee's. It could be at Starbucks. Sure.
Absolutely.
But those are necessary questions. That's what we should do. I think on our next episode, we're gonna help the brothers out. We're gonna give you a list of questions that you should ask up front to decide if there's gonna be date number 2.
Yeah.
And also, I real quick want to ask a question. I thought the Cheesecake Factory was date number 2. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't remember date number 1 being no 2, 3 star, 3, 4, 5 star date. That does not mean. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. Y'all can correct me on that. You know, y'all.
You're not wrong.
Y'all the married men.
You know what?
I don't remember.
Hey, you're right. We the married men, and we ain't even seen that list because we don't care about that list.
At all.
I don't understand. It just to me, I'm like, I'm not taking you to. Well, y'all might have Root. Tariq might have Root Chris, but we got 6S. You're not going to.
Ain't been there yet.
Dang it! Wow.
Now, we have been to some
going to those steakhouse, man, for the first
we
day.
haven't been there.
You might not like how I cut my steak. You might not like how my steak is cooked, and that might be the end of the date. And then I gotta pay $200.
Man, our first day, man, we met at the waterfall or that fountain, man, over there at the waterfront. And we went and we sat and we talked. That was our first day. We didn't even go eat nowhere. We sat and we talked. We had a conversation about ourselves, about life.
Yeah.
About, you know what I'm saying, what, you know, things may possibly look like later. You know what I'm saying? If we continue on the route that we was going. You know what I'm saying? People put emphasis on the wrong stuff. Y'all worried, you know, folks is worried. I ain't gonna say y'all. Folks is worried about what's acceptable and not acceptable as far as, you know, a date when it comes to a restaurant. Do you keep your house clean?
I got a better question. When was the last time you went to
Do you want to know if I keep my house clean?
When was the last time you went to that restaurant solo?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know, hey, I mean, you got kids, okay. What's going on with their dad? You know, I mean, what y'all on? Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to jump in the middle of some kind of baby daddy drama because y'all keep circling the block.
Yeah.
It's man, that's what I'm saying. The emphasis is being put on the wrong thing.
True.
Y'all worried about restaurants, man. Hey, I'm just trying to make sure that, you know, if for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, you invite me to your crib and I come over there, you know, and of course that ain't for me now, but I'm just saying, you know, I think this is what a lot of cats think. You know, if I come over to your crib, man, you invite me over there and I come over there, am I gonna run into your baby daddy and I'm gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna have to put hands on him because he over here acting a fool? Right. Because you ain't really broke it off like you say you have?
I was just over here last night. I stayed the night.
Bro. These are men conversations. And honestly, I'm just giving game. This is what men think.
And to be fair, that goes for the other way around too. Ladies, y'all can't be out here, you know, thinking that a dude's gonna do that and he's still dealing with his baby mama, and you gotta fight Shaquita because he can't leave her alone. Let's just be real.
That's a big part. I had to understand as a single father when I met my wife is I had to be mature enough to keep the drama and that nonsense away from her,
away from your kids.
That's
right.
That's not her responsibility. That's your responsibility to deal with those type of circumstances because you created that situation.
I got a 90-day rule.
That's real talk.
So you ain't meeting my
we have to have those type of conversations and hold ourselves responsible.
I think it was like 4 months before I met my wife's kids.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because them older daughters of mine, if they don't like you, that's a factor, homie. And
because kids will tell you. They'll tell you
true.
Quick.
Real quick.
They tell they true.
That second-born, she does not play.
It's always them second-borns, man. Them second-borns are something else, man. Ooh, them middle.
She'll look at you. She look just like me. She'll look at you. You go back into that phone. That's a wrap. Sorry. You don't
See,
like
I know with my daughter, man. This was before I got married. I remember some girl I was dating, and because I ain't gonna say her name, but
Nah,
my
don't do
daughter
that.
Soraya, she looked at me. She said, "Daddy," and I do exactly what that meant.
right. That's real, man.
Did
That's
we get through the questions, fellas? How do we do?
So
real.
we did get to them.
We did get to them.
We were gonna do a mental health one, but if y'all want to
No,
tell me that,
we can plug that in real quick.
Real
Yeah.
quick.
So
We need
real
to.
quick, just for the black man, I mean, for those who are looking for a outlet and a space, you know, the Black Man's Locker. You can find us on Facebook. We also have a Twitter page, Instagram, and also a TikTok as well. But we also have a private. Now, the private group is for black men only. Women, I hope you hear me loud and clear. I want to say that one more time. Is that the private space is for black men only. Do not try to infiltrate by changing your profile picture, because we do research to find out.
Dude.
no
We
matter
do
how good
research
y'all
to
look,
find out if your
we
page
got some
looks
lookers in there.
legit.
And
Do
we have
not
caught
come to the
many.
page saying I want to join the page because I want to help black men. You can do that on your own time. This is what we're doing. This space is for us. So, brothers, just feel free
And
to
they
join
do
the
that
page,
too.
but also for therapy. Psychology Today.
Yeah.
Psychology Today
Yes.
is a great website that you can use to look for therapy. There's also other websites. You have Spring Health. You have so many others that are out there that you can use to find therapy, but also partner with your job, your employer, to find out if they do offer support and free sessions for you as well, because our mental health is important, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
We're here, you know, to talk about mental health and help black men overcome whatever struggles they have. So with that, I think we signing off. What y'all think?
I think you
Sounds like a plan.
said a lot of things. I think one thing we need to touch on is women, although you cannot enter the group, we do have a page that we are the surface level page that we do put information on. We do want to hear from you. We do want you to encourage the men in your lives. You just can't do it in our space.
Right.
Right.
On
In
the
our
other
private
pages,
space. Let's be real. There's
right.
just some things that just need to be private, ladies. That's just what it is. We don't come in the beauty shop trying to dictate y'all feelings, and we don't do that. We really, I mean, there's no shenanigans. Even if we let y'all in, you're gonna see nothing but brothers really being vulnerable. Nobody. We're respectful. We've banned men that came in there disrespecting women. You know, you ain't no bikini pics, ain't none of that. You know,
None of that.
None of that. You know what I'm saying?
This is a growing
we're
space.
really strict on that, ladies. I want y'all to understand that. It's really a safe space.
This is a growing space. This isn't a space where we're in here just talking. We're in here trying to grow. We're challenging each other, and we're holding each other accountable because we want better homes. We want things to fall off our families. We want to break those generational curses. We want to elevate each other. We want to encourage and empower each other. And in that space, you must be challenged, and you must be able to be challenged. And if you're not able to do that, then you can't be in a space with men who are trying to.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
I love what we've done. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Me too.
Also, before we sign off, ladies, if you have questions that you want us to talk about or topics or whatever on the podcast, ladies, you are more than welcome to send your questions to our Gmail email account. We will use those questions and we will answer whatever questions you
Ask a
have.
black man. That's what it's called.
Yeah, ask a black man. That's the segment, and we will answer those questions. So we don't want you to necessarily feel slighted because you're not able to get into the private group. You still are able to join in and do some other things. So you definitely got that that opportunity to do that. And Reese can give us our email account so that way y'all know. I don't want to give us the wrong thing.
It's the blackmanslocker@gmail.com.
All right. So there you go. The blackmanslocker@gmail.com. Send your questions. We will love, because at the end of the day, just, we want a dialogue. We want a dialogue with the women. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all trying to grow. Well, most of us. We're trying to grow.
All of us
All of us are trying to grow, We're trying to grow.
He said,
You know, but
real quick. I do want to reiterate real quick. We are not red pill. We're not triggered. No disrespect to him. We're like you said. We want this to be peaceful. We want to heal. We want to heal too, man.
So I didn't get a chance before we sign off. I do want to say this. We got a lot of comments on the page from the podcast because we can't see them, so we don't know what's being said.
Wow.
All right.
But we definitely thank y'all for tuning in. We're going on the next episode. We can kind of come back in and navigate and look at that. But I see 66 comments we're gonna have to go through.
Wow.
And see what the conversation, was. But we truly thank everybody for tuning in. We really truly thank everybody for supporting.
We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. Thank y'all for joining us on our inaugural first debut episode, man, of the Black Men's Locker podcast, man. We appreciate y'all. For everybody that's been following, for everybody that's been talking about us, promoting, everybody that's, just been bigging us up. We appreciate y'all for real, man.
Absolutely.
Stick around after I turn the stream off. Just don't.
Okay.
You got anything else to say? Anybody want something to say?
No.
Hey.
See y'all next time.
www.theblackmanslocker.com. You can find all our links and how to contact us, y'all.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.